Hi. As we continue the Good News video course on how to turn your crosses into resurrections, I'd like us to explore a little bit further that Garden of Gethsemane that we are in with Jesus. It's the Garden of Decision, the question of, should I pick up this cross, or should I continue carrying this cross, or should I get rid of it? Should I turn away from it? Am I being called to do this or not? Because you know what? When we do something that God isn't calling us to, He's going to help us with it because we mean to do right. We want to do His will, and He honors that. But we're not going to have the same strength, the same encouragement, the same appreciation from God as those crosses that He does want us to carry. He's not going to help us very much because what He'd rather help us do is discern that it's a cross we need to get rid of and how to get rid of that. So in this session, I'd like to cover that discernment process. How do you know? How can you tell what God's will is regarding whether or not to carry a cross? Well, first of all, it does take prayer. It does take time in prayer. And in that prayer time, we need to surrender our agenda of what we think should happen. We need to surrender our ideas of how comfortable our life should be. Or in some cases, a cross that we're carrying can seem more comfortable than letting go of it. We're so familiar with it, it becomes something that we cling to even when we're not supposed to. Codependent relationships is an example of that. Staying in an abusive relationship is an example of that. We've become so comfortable with it, the world outside of that seems frightening. We don't know how we can manage on our own. We don't know how it's going to affect the children. We don't know how we're going to be able to live outside of what we're used to. But God knows. God has a plan. But to get from here to there, we need a lot of discernment and often a lot of help. This usually cannot be done with discernment all on our own. We need the help of a counselor, a therapist, a priest, good friends who are very connected to Christ and the Holy Spirit. We need very often counseling that will help us heal so that we can let go of the crosses that we're not supposed to carry. If we are carrying crosses that we're not supposed to carry, God's blessings are very minimal in it. He still loves us, and in His mercy, He still helps us. But He has much better life for us in mind. And He's not going to bless us going against His will. Very often we rationalize that we have to stay with the crosses that we're carrying. We have to stay in those situations because of this, and this. But God says, let go of all that for a minute. Just let go of all of that to dream with me. Now, this is what Jesus would like to say to you. To dream with me about what your life could be like if you let me walk you out of this situation into healing, into resurrection. Another thing that I would like to mention is that discernment about our crosses involves hope. It involves knowing that something good will come from the crosses we are called to carry. Or knowing that something good will come from getting rid of the crosses that God doesn't want us to carry. When we can apply hope to both sides of the picture, we're more free to discern correctly what God has in mind for us, to go forward with the cross or to let go of the cross. And if God is saying, don't carry this cross, and we're not listening, we're not believing it, we're not trusting God in that. And we're missing out on a lot. And there are other people who are damaged in the process. We need to trust God also to embrace the crosses that He calls us to carry. These are some of the keys to knowing whether to carry a cross or not. These are the spiritual exercises that I'd like you to do between now and the next session. The next session, we're going to move out of the Garden of Gethsemane and start the journey towards Calvary. So until then, know that I'm praying for you. God bless you, and keep your eyes on Jesus.